Don't really have any life updates. Grad school is bad. Let's get into it. Hello, breadfiesta here, and welcome back to Let's Play WWE 2K23 MyGM mode. Last recording session, I forgot to say what my username was. This recording session, though, we are going to be finishing up Season 6 of Raw. So we have 5 weeks left. 5 weeks until WrestleMania. In real life, there's only 1 week until WrestleMania, so that's exciting. Not that I've been super paying attention to much since the Royal Rumble, but I know the matches that are going to be on the card, and some of them are interesting, and some of them are not. So, but we're talking about MyGM. I don't think I have any notes specific to MyGM, specific to the project. I'm thinking of taking a break after this one just because of grad school. I might play like something else also, just to give myself a little bit of a fresh experience before continuing on to the next playthrough, which is probably going to be WCW, I think. So, yeah, that's all nebulous. I did also redo my spreadsheet of all my the digitizing all my raw notes, which are normally in this notebook here, and because I wanted to get a better picture of kind of where Raw was for season 6. Some interesting notes, my current I'll put some screenshots up here. My current workhorse is JC Jane. JC has had 17 matches this season, more than anybody else. Second place is Indy, her tag partner. And I think the difference is just on that first live event at Survivor Series where JC had the world title match, and I don't think Indy was on the card. I guess I could actually check my notes. But I think that's the main difference between the two. On the men's side, it looks like, AJ has 14 with Heath and Mansois right behind at 13. Some interesting low ones Ella Rubao only has had 9 matches, which is just I think I also kept her off of the card for most of the last month, so that also could affect it. But it's not that much lower for Ella than where she usually is at, 14 it looks like for the last 3 seasons, 12 in season 2. So it'll go up, she'll compete a lot this month, but it was just some interesting to kind of take a look. Some things that were interesting, like Wendy Chu overall win percentage on Raw is only 25%. So Wendy actually hardly ever wins matches, but is still, incredibly popular star. I also put together, I was tracking Grand Slams. And so the way I put it for in real life, a Grand Slam is when you win multiple titles over the course of your career. So it could be the world title, the United States title, and tag titles. I think there's, the multiple different tag titles, both United States, Intercontinental, both world championships, there's some definition of it. For Raw, I defined it as for the men, so it's winning the world title, the US title, and the tag titles. And then for the women, since they don't have a singles mid-card title, I just defined it as winning 2 world titles and a tag title. So it's technically harder for the women. Interesting of our, current roster. The first ever Grand Slam champion was Ella Rubao back in season 2. Season 3, Heath Manhattan became a Grand Slam champion. Vicky McLeod in season 4. Ella actually became a 2-time Grand Slam champion in season 5. And then in week 1 of season 6, when Nikita won the world title, her second world title, she became a Grand Slam champion. So that's just a fun little stat for me. Other ones not on the show: Cruz del Toro, Austin Theory, Zelina Vega. That's it. That's everybody. There's a few who are close, but those are just interesting stats for me. Not intentional to pad the length of this episode, but yeah. So I will cut in here the emails and shakeup, and then we will get into booking week 21 in Birmingham, Alabama. Here we go. All right, let's get our shakeup. Birmingham, Alabama, as predicted. 21. Birmingham, Alabama. Eller Bow reaching out saying, "Hey boss, you've had me benched for a while and I really want to get back in the ring. Don't you have room for me in a match on tonight's card?" Yeah. Sure thing. I want you back in the spotlight. I do actually want you back in the spotlight. I was starting to feel like a fifth wheel at Raw. That's almost word for word your promo. Let me write down Raw Season 6, weeks 21 to 25. And I will need to do Ella match. Rich Odikawa says, "Look, McStones has been handing me nothing but losses. Isn't there someone else on the roster you can match me up for against for a change?" Yeah, fine. I don't think I was going to put you in a match together anyway. So, no Odikawa versus McStones. Sure, whatever. I think I got some other promises I need to write down. All right, soft landing. Superstars are far less likely to be injured in normal, tables, and falls count anywhere matches. That seems very specific. Evasive maneuvers gain 2 power cards. Cruiser PR training. All your cruiser superstars get +3 mic skill. My cruiser superstars are Carrie Rush, who I believe already has a 5, and Mensua. I might actually do this PR training one. It won't affect very many stars just because I didn't do a lot of cruisers this season. But the benefit to Mensua, I think, is just really good. Especially because this cruiser PR training, it does say seasonal, but it's actually permanent. I don't think because I'm not worried about injuries. I'm just not booking. That's not how I book. 2 power cards. Since I already did the 6 before, there's just a low chance of me getting anything good. So I think I'm going to do this. Yeah. So, Carrie Rush again already had a 5. She's not going to go up to an 8. But yeah, then we'll go ahead and continue on. Okay, so we did, cruiser PR training, which only really affected Mensua, but something. And then I also, Ella needs to have a match. Rich Odikawa doesn't want to fight Flint McStones, which is fine. I feel bad for LA Knight because he was like the only person I've ever really declined a request from. But I don't really know what he was thinking. Ensure that your least popular available cruiser is in a match this week for Coast to Coast. I don't know if I will do that or need to do that. But it is an option. Let's see here. Let's do our checks. So we'll go ahead and check morale really quick. Shocker, Carmella. Yeah, LA Knight's still happy with me despite declining the request. Carmella, I might just send to a health spa just to do like something with her. Because I cannot make her happy. I also did like a in between after the last recording session. I kind of mapped out where I want my feuds to go. So my world title feud with Nikita, I want to be Ella. So that's what I'm going to work on building. Nikita unfortunately cannot compete this week, but she can cut a promo and she'll be fine for next week. So I will have Nikita call out Ella, I think, figure out how like narratively that. Well, Ella did sort of like a subtweet sort of call out. I don't know what the modern terminology that doesn't use like a problematic website. of that term. But yeah, I think that's how I can narratively figure out that one. Let's see. Aaliyah and Wendy are in the middle of a feud, so we'll stick with them. I'm thinking my tag feud. Well, I know my tag feud is going to be JC and Indy, and then Zaya and Vicky. So I'm just going to go with them and just do the face team versus face heel team. So, in a sense, kind of like two face teams. It's just that Vicky is going to stay a heel. And it's possible. No, nobody else is close to getting another Grand Slam, actually, because anybody else who wants to get a Grand Slam needs to win 2 more world titles. Ella is the only one who has more than 2. But it would help, I guess, for Vicky and Zaya. So I've got that planned. And then for miscellaneous feuds, which they likely will not all make the card, but what does and what doesn't. I want to do Cinnamon Garrett and Valhalla I put together. I'll have to think about why I did that. Dana and Carrie I also put together, so I might some combination of them. And then I'm thinking of turning Shotzi back face, and then having her feud with Carmella. I could turn Carmella face. That's a thought. Let's look at that narratively. Carmella last lost the title. She's been feuding with Dana Brooke for the last month, I believe. Maybe 2 months. Yeah. They have been feuding since week 14, it looks like. What would a Carmella face turn look like? A Carmella face turn would be another face fighter, so that's an issue. So I may not do that. I might turn, Shotzi back. Because what did Shotzi do at the last event? Nothing, I'm pretty sure. Shotzi's last appearance was to defeat... Last in-ring appearance was to defeat JC and Indy. But the crowd says they're not really feeling Shotzi as a heel. Anyway, those are the thoughts I have for the women's division. For the men's division, I think everything has reset for the most part. I should probably blow off Styles Mahan. Just to get that off the roster. I do need to rest Karrion Kross this week. I need to give him a health spa, actually. So the ideas I had for the men's division, I'm going to pause the tag titles. Don't care. They're not going to make the card. I want to do AJ and Cena. I wrote down Orikawa and Mahan, even though Orikawa hasn't won like any matches at all. So like him. Well, Veer's not even the U.S. champion anymore. Who is the U.S. champion? Flint McStones. That's right. I was actually thinking of doing Cross McStones as my world feud. Matador and LA Knight. And then that leaves Mansois and Heath Manhattan. Those are the ideas. So, okay. We just did a morale check, and it's just Carmella. Stamina check. Let's see here. So this week we need to rest a lot of people. Nikita needs to rest, but can cut a promo. Indy can cut a promo, but I might just have her rest. Matador, JC, Carmella. Well, yeah, both Indy and JC need to rest. So I'll try to set up the tag feud next week. Carmella needs to rest. Heath, Dana Brooke, and Karrion Kross. Yeah, everybody from Matador down all need to rest. They all almost need... they need to not be on the card. With Dana and Karrion actually needing to... like a health spa, honestly. Okay. There's that. Let's see. Power cards. We have falls count anywhere. Pre-match physio I don't care about. Contract negotiation. Go ahead and do these two. Let's check our health spas. We have 4 health spa 2, 4 health spa 3, and 2 health spa 1s. Let's go ahead and do... And we have 2 superstar GMs, so I could use one of those on Carmella. But I think what I'll do here is I do need... Can I sort by stamina here? I can. Can I sort by morale here? No. Of course not. Stamina. So I do need to use Health Spa 3 on Karrion Kross. I want him back as soon as possible. And I do want to use... I'll use a Health Spa 2 on Dana, I guess. Is Dana's might not be a priority. Who did, before I'm thinking about just using a health spot 1 on Dana, but did I find out like a good like tag team for, okay, Nikita Lyons and Shotzi for the tag team? I can't do that. Vicky and Nikita. Wendy and Shotzi work well as a tag team, but that's not going to work. Nikita and Wendy work well as a tag team. Aaliyah and Vicky. Indy and JC. Ella and Zaya, I knew that. So I don't think I know anything that will work for me here for Shotzi. Okay. Let's book a card first, and then think about the rest of the roster here. I'm just gonna look at this for fun. Karen Compactor is still here. Otis, my like inaugural U.S. champion, who then immediately lost it the following week. Okay, so Ella Rubao needs to be in a match this week, so we'll just go ahead and put her in the main event against somebody. I could do... How's Aaliyah doing? I could run back like the triple threat that I did, because all their staminas are phenomenal. Something like this. Like their popularities are all good. Aaliyah's dropped a little bit, but this can build her up. We'll just go with that. Call out Nikita on Ella. Not sure if that's where that will belong, but we'll go with that. I think I'll do a call out here because Heath needs to rest. And SWA on Heath Manhattan. Do that. Build that up. One submission match. That would be, what's my level 4 feud? AJ and Veer. Both their staminas are low. That's fine. Can't do tag team feud this week, so we'll instead do start by stamina. There we go. Who's at the top of stamina? So Vicky has 100 stamina somehow. So I could do who I want to feud with Carrie Rush again. Dana Brooke. Dana cannot compete this week. Okay. Who was Cinnamon Garrett going to go against? Valhalla. And then Shotzi. Shotzi was with Carmella. Call out Flint McStones on Carrying Cross. Okay. Who on the men's division do we got that's able to compete this week? Rich Orikawa, LA Knight, and John Cena. That's it. Knight was going to go against Adore, who can't compete this week. Orikawa was going to go against Mahan, who's busy this week. And then Cena was going to go against Styles, who's busy this week. I could switch things up and do like Knight Cena. And that would leave Styles to go against Adore. That kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah, regular match. Cena is again going to be exhausted after this. And then let's explore a tag team match here. Let's explore Zaya and Vicky facing off against... like the idea here is carry Valhalla and then have somebody run in. Just establish teams. Well, the only people who can run in are Cinnamon Garrett and Shotzi. I could... exploring something here. Cinnamon Garrett and Shotzi. Let's think about the story here. Does a run-in from Carrie Rush still fails the commissioner goal? I think so, because, yeah, least popular available cruiser. Is it Carrie? It is, by 3 popularity. Not again that I need the coast to coast. I think I have like 3 of them already. I have 2 of them. Do I need to do any more? I do need to start a rivalry by interference somehow. And I don't want to start a tag feud here. Zaya Vicky versus... I mean, Vicky McLeod, 100 stamina, 95 popularity, very rare. Cinnamon Garrett and Shotzi. Let's just try it. It'll probably be the worst match. I hope that starts a feud. Okay. So we got a submission match. I want to do something special for this. I know both Ella and Aaliyah are good at tables matches, so I could just do this. I do like this card. I think the order of it is fine. Like, yeah, these 2 matches are definitely the lowest. I do this. That is good. Yeah. Okay. Oh, logistics. Goodness, imagine if I forgot that. We'll just do the big stadium this week. We can do up to level 3 for the crew. I gotta be more mindful about just like when I stop talking because I get this lost in my head. That's what makes these episodes like so long. let's do one more review of. I can't use To the Moon on anybody. That's fair. Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke and Carmella only really have each other to fight. And their rivalry is on cooldown with this new paradigm that I've kind of put together with that tag match and that feud. So here's what I'll do. I will use a level 3 health spot on Carmella. I think she'll like that. That's a smiley face. Okay, great. And I will use just a level 2 on Dana. Yeah, now she's green happy face. I don't think I need to use anything else. I think with the order of this card, we're good. Ella is in a match. Orikawa is not facing Flint McStones. In fact, Orikawa is not appearing, period. Just don't have a spot for him. I'm thinking about stamina, and then I have a note to turn Shotzi, but I think I'm going to turn Shotzi after this match. I've got an idea here, so... I want to check the logistics one last time. Yeah, level 3 logistic there is good. Okay. Welcome, Birmingham, Alabama, to Monday Night Raw. This is the road of 10 million WrestleMania fans. We are excited to have you here, and we're excited to head to Buffalo, New York for WrestleMania this year. We're going to be visiting cities around the country, actually, for the next month. But we hope to see you there, and we're glad to see you here. Last week was Extreme Rules, and we saw a lot of movement in all the divisions, actually, with the exception of, I guess, the women's divisions. But on the men's side, AJ and his partner Mansoor defeated the tag team champions of Veer and John Cena. But AJ and Veer, they still, had kind of feud against each other. Veer, as the man of the people, wants to represent all people. He at one point had, actually before 3 weeks ago, was a double champion. He was both the United States champion and the tag team champions. He lost the United States title to Matt Adore, who then lost it to Flint McStones. In a massive match that AJ was involved in, perhaps prevented him from keeping that title. He then, defeated Veer and Cena for the tag titles. So, Veer has a lot of ill will towards AJ. AJ has just been rubbing it in his face, and so now it is time to end it. And we end it with submission matches. That's the way we do it in 2023, which is the year it's been for all 6 seasons. So, AJ Styles, Veer Mahan, submission match to end their feud.
1, 2, that's it, bring it.
Big win for AJ Styles. 4.5-star classic completes their feud. What does this mean for the will of the people? So it is a rivalry ender. Styles defeats Mahan. in a 4.5-star match. I don't think I have to be worried about my mid cards. Good job, AJ Styles. AJ's partner, Mansois, who is he comes out and reminds, maybe he comes out after the match, raises AJ's hand, and he reminds everybody, AJ and I came together. I have been his financier. As you all know, I'm an incredibly wealthy man. He's speaking in a way that is sort of almost befitting of his wealth. Maybe he watched The Dark Knight and is now emulating Christian Bale playing Bruce Wayne, but evil, because he reminds us that he is here to buy Monday Night Raw. That is still his intention, and he's got the gold collateral, he points to the tag titles, to put up and make this sale happen. And Heath Manhattan, as a member of the executive leadership team, is watching this discussion backstage, and he does have to consult with the rest of the leadership team. Obviously, Nikita's got her own thing going on, so he is interviewed backstage. He says he's going to take it to the leadership team for a review, to talk about Mansoir's offer, his buyout takeover offer, essentially. But it's very interesting. The crowd's really excited to see what's next, and they're really impressed by Mansoir's the cut of his jib, let's say. That's not what he would say, because that is a perhaps lowbrow turn of phrase. So that's a level 1 rivalry. Mansoir calls out Manhattan. Xia Li and Vicky McLeod have been calling out the tag team champions. They believe they are owed a title shot. Indy and JC have the week off after winning the titles. They need to, after the war that they went through an Extreme Rules match with Carrie and Valhalla, and a months-long feud with them. Vicky and Xia are still hoping to maintain their claim to fame. I believe they're actually, I can review in my notes here. I should be prepared for this. If I go to my roster here and we look for Vicky McLeod and Xia Li. Other tab. Vicky McLeod and Xia Li. Here we go. They are currently undefeated as a tag team. So they're hoping to stay that way heading into tag title feud, hopefully at WrestleMania. And so, we see them entering. Cinnamon Garrett was unable to capture the world title. She has had, I believe, exclusively world title matches here at on her return. She's only had 2 matches so far. Both of them have been for the women's world title. So she is trying to take in the feedback that she's received from the crowd, that, her trying to big league Stephanie McMahon, big league the executive leadership team or whatever, was not really, well received. And so Nikita getting a comeuppance on her was perhaps, a wake-up call. Somebody who has similarly not had much success has been Shotzi, who I believe has also only had 2 matches since her return last month. And so, Shotzi, wanted to take down the tag team division, but the tag team division honestly seems stronger than ever. And so she won't be able to get back with JC. She's not sure JC will ever even forgive her for what she's done. And so Cinnamon Garrett, comes up to her and just like, hey, let's just be humble about what's happened. We both came in at the same time. I came in at the same time as Vicky, several years ago, Vicky went on to become a multiple-time world champion. She's a Grand Slam champion. She's had all this success. Well, I've had to scrape by on other shows to get fired for reasons that were out of my control. You've had so many contract issues. Let's just come together and let's maybe give this a shot for ourselves. And so they're going to start a fledgling tag team against Vicky and Saya. And there is another tag team waiting in the wings who are not happy that they were never able to get the tag team titles themselves. And so in the middle of this match, Carrie Rush, representative of her and Valhalla, come out to attack Cinnamon Garrett and Shotzi.
1, 2, ring that back.
So Vicky and Zaya, I need to remember to do Vicky and Zaya in the order and not Zaya Vicky, because then Zaya's hand gets in the way. It also doesn't start the feud because of the run-in, because of course it doesn't. Why would it? So why would I get that last season challenge? So we are doing, let's see here. I do McLeod Lee. Okay. Let's even write it in my notes. McLeod and Lee, still undefeated. Defeat, and it's a 2.5 star match. Shotzi and Garrett, 2.5 stars. I'm guessing that means that Shotzi and Garrett are an okay tag team. So Nikita Lyons, your women's world champion, retained. Unsurprisingly, at Extreme Rules, there were definite shenanigans where Nikita, perhaps threatened the referee to call the match in her favor. We saw a slow count, we saw a stopped count, we saw a fast count. We also heard from Ella Rubao, who has been, kind of taking a step back this season, but saying she wants to get back to the front. She wants to keep fighting for Monday Night Raw. And the implication in Ella's promo was that she wanted Nikita. She wanted the world title. And Nikita just says, Ella Rubao, be careful what you wish for. We've worked together for 6 years now. I know everything about your fighting style. I know everything about your leadership style. I know everything about you. You want to come for me at WrestleMania, I will end you. You will not get back on the leadership team as long as I'm still here. You will not be the world champion as long as I'm still here. It's super intense. Crowd thinks it's excellent. And I need to write it down. Level 1 feud. Lyons calls out Rubao. Defiant LA Knight turned on the crowd in Los Angeles, which matches his an acronym initials there. They're having an exhibition match, him and John Cena here. Cena, who has lost his tag titles as of Extreme Rules, who has been criticized for not appearing on a regular basis. And so he's trying to fight back against those criticisms by showing up the week after a live event and competing. And LA Knight is, just trying to show that he deserves to be on Raw. He's a former world champion in his own right. I believe he is just shy of a Grand Slam, I think. Yeah. LA Knight is just missing the United States title to become a Grand Slam champion. So these two are just going to have an exhibition match to kind of prove to each other, to themselves, to the crowd, why they're here at Monday Night Raw. John Cena, big win. 4-star, amazing. 4 stars. All right, if that's what you want. So, and no feud because. Cena defeats Knight in a 4-star, surprisingly good match with no rivalry implications. So maybe we'll see more from them, maybe not. I don't know. not getting a rivalry kind of blows the idea off of one of my feuds. Flint McStone's PhD has been a rising star here on Monday Night Raw. The men's division was looking for consistency this year, right? And they've certainly found some consistency in Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is now a 4-time world champion, tying the record of world titles with Ella Rubao, but still one behind the record of total single title reigns, which is Heath Manhattan, who held the U.S. title 5 times, and the world title twice, so 7, singles titles technically. But Karrion Kross has been a consistent, player on Monday Night Raw this season, and Flint McStone's, he wants to again bring perhaps some of Veer's Will of the People. They have been the most consistent, and essentially Flint McStones calls out Karrion Kross and says he wants to be the top person at Monday Night Raw. Karrion can't be here today because he also competed in a pretty intense match at Kross and Manhattan, actually. Had a 5-star pretty wild match, I'm pretty sure. This starts a new feud. It'll be kind of title versus title. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll do something with Flint, the U.S. title in the interim. But it's a good promo. People are just unsure, like, who's going to go for which title. McStones calls Kross. And in your main event, it's been a few weeks now since Ella Rubao's had a match. And so she is, looking to compete again. And a few weeks ago, I believe we saw this triple threat. We saw Ella, and I think I framed it as a handicap match. Let's see here. Because, Chu calls Aaliyah. Or I guess not. Maybe I haven't done this before. Or I might have done it with somebody else. No, I did. Yeah, it was when Ella was feuding with Wendy. That's right. This was back in week 13. So, week 13, which was back in Charlotte, North Carolina. Nowhere near Birmingham. Back then, Aaliyah teamed up with Ella to help her with the Wendy Chu problem. And now Ella is looking to return the favor, as Wendy Chu still remains a problem. And so we're going to see this match, and it's going to be not a Wendy Chu specialty, but a Wendy Chu signature. This is a bedtime match where there are mattresses laid out, there are tables, and so they're trying to put Wendy Chu to bed. They're trying to put this whole dream nonsense. And the match does get a little kind of dream, as if it's happening in the dreamscape. Ella and Aaliyah do end up kind of fighting each other. There's still some of that, rivalry heat between them, old rivals. But let's see how it ends up. Ella Rubao in a 4-star match that does grow the Wendy Aaliyah feuds. That's something. So Rubao, I was hesitant to make this a number 1 contender match because I didn't know if Ella was going to win, but she did. So now it's retconned in that this was a number 1 contender match for the world title. Rubao defeats Aaliyah and Chu in a 4-star match. That's so wild that LA Knight and John Cena was a 4-star match. All right, great show. Chester at 0 stamina and 2 titles versus Chuck McWagon in a normal match.
1, 2.
This has to result in an injury, right? No, I guess not. Somehow it does not. Goldberg is here because they definitely have the money to do that. Uso, Loomis, and Clay Cortman in a triple threat that's got too many heels. And also Jey Uso is injured and also has Elias running in. I believe Elias is also a heel.
1, 2. It's over. Bring it.
Jey Uso wins. It's mediocre. Does nothing for nobody. Raquel tries her best. Brie Bella and Tiffany Stratton, because again, you can definitely afford Brie Bella.
That's it. Bring it.
Tiffany wins. Starts a new rivalry. John the Fish Herman has a 5 promo skill somehow, so good for him. He gets an excellent promo on Montez. And world title, Candice and Becky. Their popularities are kind of struggling. I thought like SmackDown had like great. Oh, that sucks for Candice. I thought SmackDown was doing really good with popularity, but I guess not. And NXT also. NXT, their like growth has kept up like linearly on pace with mine. Like they have gotten, I believe, I'll check the graphs, but they've gotten the same number of fans as I have, while SmackDown and NXT 2.0 have gotten the same number. But the difference is obviously like 2 million fans. So let's see here. Shinsuke, Roman, and Brute Force. Brute Force actually most popular here. Good for him. Grows Reigns Nakamura. Jerry the King Lawler. Always just looks like he's not wearing pants. Sheamus and Sheamus.
2. That's 3. Bring it.
Sheamus. It's great. Lita is good. Ciampa, double champion. Omos. Cruz del Toro, 0 stamina. Seth Rollins.
1, 2. It's over.
Ciampa and Omos. It's amazing. Cruz doesn't get injured. Captain Grog is here, and he's trying his best. And Jive Owens, 5 stamina. Lost a lot of popularity. What happened here? Big win for Jinder. Doesn't injure Jive Owens. Tyler Bate and Braun Strowman, sure, 100 popularity. Tyler Bate, but loses in a TLC match and doesn't get injured, 4.5 stars. Mustafa Ali is excellent. Penelope Perfect and Bayley, sure. Don't think that's who was feuding, but all right. It's good. The Miz is on this show, I guess. He's excellent. Finn Balor and Shanky. Shanky's really popular. Luke Gallows runs in. He's okay. Or it's okay. Caden Carter is okay. And Rhea Katana. Katana, oh, new world champ. Good for her. Great show for 2.0. Amazing booking. Good booking, and then amazing booking for 2.0. 2.0, I think, beat us. Well, no, our mid-cards were better. All right, let's see here. So this match, AJ will need to rest, but popularities went up. 5-star performance in this match, and still only a 4.5-star match. So, yeah, really nothing. Couldn't have been any better, honestly, between these two. This one looks like Shotzi and Cinnamon work okay as a tag team. They get 1 star out of that. So that's fine. 1.5-star performance. Face heel here is a 3-star role matchup, as well as Fighter Bruiser is a 3-star class matchup. So this match was really only going to be as good as it was. Didn't really do much for anybody except for Shotzi. So all right. What a 5-star performance. And of course Cena's exhausted. But okay. And our main event, 3-star performance. Popularities are up. I mean, we're sort of hitting a limit here. Aaliyah gained a little bit, I think. Staminas are still manageable. I'm guessing Aaliyah must have gotten pinned. But yeah, worked out pretty well there. And then grew all those feuds. 130 rating score, lost 3,000 fans, so kind of right on the margin there. Gained $109,000. 360 Snob 82 says, I hate when good matches end in DQ. Shotzi and Vicky McLeod was getting good. Cinnamon Garrett, why did you get caught? Is that what you think happened? Because the next person says, the keyboard monster brand says, Vicky McLeod wins by DQ against Cinnamon Garrett thanks to that run-in by Carrie Rush. And they follow it up with Invincible Business 77 saying, did you guys see Carrie jump Cinnamon Garrett? Totally uncalled for. They love that match, even though it was only 2.5 stars. It's maybe like stars don't actually matter. Thank you all for watching. Colossal Show 84 says, so that rivalry between AJ Styles and Veer Mahan finally got settled. Glad to see Styles having the final word. Good for him. Thank you for watching. Body Slam Contender in England or in English says, fantastic show from Raw. Thank you for watching. Cinnamon Garrett, whose username is Sweet Cinnamon, says, Carrie Rush, you're not impressing anyone, jumping me from behind. Really pathetic. Yeah. Slam Sensation Tube says, Raw absolutely killing it in the ratings war against NXT right now. That's who you think are competing? Okay. Thank you for watching. Fighter Town of the World says, absolutely wild. Ella Rubao had an incredible match against Wendy Chu. Wendy put in such a good effort, though. Big props. Great praise for the main event. Good job. Big Fiend 85 says, LA Knight getting pushed a lot lately on Raw. Yeah. Thank you for watching. And finally, Mr. Worshipper 94 says, didn't really like Shotzi versus Vicky McLeod. So Shotzi, the biggest blowhard, is up against Vicky, the second biggest blowhard. What? Hashtag Raw. Thank you for watching. 101 rating score for SmackDown. Lost 29,000 fans. Gained $60,000. No notes. 110 rating score for NXT, gained 9,500 fans, gained $53,000, and Cruz del Toro and Seth Rollins work well as a tag team. I think I knew that. Not sure if Captain Grog is ready for the big time. Ouch. 112 rating score, gained 56 fans. I've never seen a fan gain that low, like just 2 digits. Gained $12,000. That's astounding. And here we are. Matt Riddle is the world champ. When did that? All right, whatever. For NXT, I was just noticing. Okay. Great. How are we doing? Just wanted to check to see if it was raining. The clouds are coming back, so it might be. So I will record some more. Of course, I've hit an hour, so I have to restart my recording. It's always the first week that I just take forever.